guys, Boardroom Savages here. We're back with another one. So today, we're having an energy moment with Holy Designer, and we are going to be talking about how the company you keep affects the decisions that you make. And this is something that's really important because oftentimes you hear the slogan, you're the sum of the 5 people that you hang around. Well, what if those 5 people are not really in your best interest? You know, I've talked about frenemies in a boardroom. I've talked about, who your significant other is in a boardroom, but to be able to have someone here with me who he's outside more than I am, he's way more active than I am, to actually be able to discuss, like, this is really a real thing, like how your energy or the energy that you keep around you can affect your decision making, how the energy that you keep around you can really affect your, not just your decisions, but how you feel about yourself, or how you respond, how you react to certain things in your life. So join us. We're gonna get it popping. Oh God, that is so old, but y'all know what I'm trying to say, right? Okay, y'all know I'm corny. I'm proud of my corniness, but you get the point. So welcome back.
I appreciate it. Good to be back.
He's so cool, right? He all laid back. All right. So let's talk about it.
So yeah,
Let's tap in real quick. So
definitely.
what's going on?
I mean, I actually wanted to piggyback off of what you said. You said it could the company you keep could make you feel a certain way about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to say it can affect your ambition and your drive as well too. Like,
yeah, that is true.
Yeah, I wanted to say that too though. So
that's true. So what's going on? Tell me what you're saying. How you paying attention?
Well, I've been outside the past couple of days and I've been blessed to talk to my people. And I've just been hearing a lot of people talk about that. Like, they haven't directly linked it like, oh, I'm feeling discouraged because of the people that are around me, but I've been noticing a lot of people coming to me lately and they're like, man, like, or I'll notice they started something and then they ain't really keeping it going. Like, it's kind of like it was a trend. So I've been talking to a few of my people and they just say, your energy been low. And I had even noticed myself, like, hanging around certain peers of mine, like, it brings my energy down. Like, some days I don't feel like going outside, depending on who I spent, like, the day with prior, for real.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. It's really crazy, though. I've noticed that.
Like, what did you notice? Like, how did you notice, like, your mood being affected?
It's like it's almost like a peer pressure, but not really. It's like you may have that burst of energy, then you come around your friend or, family member, whoever the person is, and then you throw an idea at them, and they, you like, and then, they're kind of like, I don't care.
Not supportive.
That. Right, that kind of make you like, well, yeah, they might be right. And then I've seen that happen to me.
Well, it's funny that you should say that. Here's the thing. Mm-hmm. You have to look at who you're having these discussions with, okay?
True, yeah.
So if you having discussions with low vibrational people, you're going to get low vibrational feedback. Right. You're going to get low vibrational answers, okay? And what I mean by that is, if your partner ain't got nothing going on, and you like, man, I done designed 4 jackets, I done got 16 orders, his energy may not be like, go for it, dude, man, what you need? Can I help? Do you want me to run and go get you some supplies? Or what can I do to support? And he's like, yeah, that's cool. And then he sit back. Yeah, you might need to, not to say that person may not be a good friend. You just might need to limit your time with that person, because we said it in the past energy moment. A lot of people, if they can't see themselves doing it, they can't see you doing it. And unfortunately, if that person doesn't have a high esteem or view of themselves, and we're talking about non-toxic, not egotistical, no narcissism, meaning like I really believe in myself, I really self-love and love myself view, yeah, they not there.
Right. It's like you've almost outgrown their, it's like 2020, I almost related to vision. Like, it's like you got 2020 and they got like 1 or 220, so you can see way down there what they can't. It's like a limited scope. So yeah, and then it's like when you suggest something to them that is beyond that scope, that's when they like, oh no, I ain't even gonna give that like some thought or attention, And I see like with it could be one person, or if you got a group of people around you and they all think like that, like, man, that could bring you down.
I'm glad you said that, like, outgrowing relationships.
Right.
I've paid attention, and I see that, like, people are like, well, that's my day one. I've known them since she was 8 or where he was 8, and it's like, yeah, but it does not necessarily mean that like they can go to the end of the road with you.
Right.
Being able to know how to be like, okay, limitations. You gotta compartmentalize.
Right, you took the word right out of my mouth.
Yeah,
exactly.
Compartmentalize those friendships.
Exactly.
Like some friendships are football and wings,
right.
and they will never go no further.
Exactly.
And some friendships are ideas that you communicate, and y'all discuss visions and how to grow and how to mastermind.
Right.
You know, some friendships y'all just talking about, man. You know, you seen on Instagram what happened with such and such. That may be that's all you can get out of that friendship, right. And recognizing that.
Right. It's like you have to know which friends to use for which situations.
Oh yeah.
Who to be around and when you need certain things done. So if you're handling business, you know, I can't go to this person, or if I'm having fun, I can't necessarily go to my business friend. I might need to go to my fun friend. So yeah, it's like you said, compartmentalizing, utilizing folks where they fall into place.
It's funny to even discuss that, because I have a friend who, she used to be like, girl, I don't mix friends. And I'll be like, what you mean? She'd be like, I don't mix friends, because you mess around mixed friends, and those mixed friends don't like each other. It could really be disastrous, right. In your face at the wrong time, in the wrong situation. Right. So I think that's a level of discernment.
Exactly. You're right.
And a level of maturity.
Right.
So can you name a time where you were like, oh shit, like I shouldn't have mixed these two, this ain't gonna, or you were able to recognize like, yeah, I can't do this with that person?
I was lucky enough that it didn't get that far to where I mixed them and then saw the bad. I got to see it up front, and I just see that certain mindsets, I won't say can't be in the same room, but I don't want to see what would happen if they in the same room, you know. So I've never put, you know, and I'm that type of guy. I usually run by myself, more of like a lone wolf type of guy, but I know who to have around at what times, and you know, it's easy to see who is, like you said, business minded and who's on the fun stuff, because Instagram show you everything, so you kind of know, you got a preview of their life, you know, before hanging out with them. So I've never got it to that point, but I've definitely seen, oh yeah, if I bring fire around gasoline, it's gonna be bad. You know what I'm saying?
Fire around gasoline, that's a good one.
And I guess I should say, since I don't want to make it seem like we just point out all the bad, I can say a solution at least to how I overcame the like, you know, the people being around me and the energy drop, and that happens often. Like I'll say for any hustler, entrepreneur, however you want to call it, that's normal. Like, don't feel bad if that's happening to you. Like, that's normal. But how I overcame it, I literally had to pray and ask the Lord for motivation. And I know that because I had been asking for it regularly in my prayers, and then I just stopped. And I was like, okay, at this point, like, I guess it's like either you motivated or you not. And I was just asking for, I guess, you know, it to keep refueling every day. And I had stopped. I'm like, all right, I'm motivated enough. And I noticed after about a week of not praying for it, that's when I peeped the, man, all right, I can take today off. I can take today off.
And you can't take the day off from
praying.
Not
from praying. No, I'm talking about from going out to sell my, go to sell the merch. Nah, not from praying. Heck no.
You take the day off. God, like, oh, for real? All right, let me show you better than I can tell you. How the hell a tornado happened out of nowhere?
Right, it just hit my house. Like, for real.
It'd be like that.
Yeah, I know about karma. I don't even play with her. She undefeated like Floyd. I'm not even going. Yeah, I'll take the L before I mess around with that, for real.
That's crazy. That right there, like, yeah, you have to be very solid and very balanced in your inner
right
self, because what's going on, you know, that saying, you know, being in the world but not of it,
exactly,
comes from having like a solid spiritual life and religious life, because it's getting to the point where spirituality is trending, and people are not understanding that spirituality, it's broad, but it's also, there are universal laws that I don't care whose book you read, whether it's the Torah, whether it's the Holy Bible, King James Version, New Testament, this, and that. It's you do unto others as you would like done unto you. So if you putting out negative energy,
right,
and you speaking negative, and you gossiping, you slandering, you doing the most, it's only natural that it comes back to you.
Right.
That person ain't praying on you. That person might not even be thinking about you. But if you're putting that out, karma be like, okay, keep talking. We're going to spin this block and shoot it up while we at it. Because it comes back magnified. It's about your intention. So that's a whole nother energy moment, like, that we could go off on a tangent where, like, But being able to balance religion and spirituality. Religion is is your practice. Mm-hmm. Spirituality is your belief. Your belief system and what you practice on your belief system will dictate what is your world around you. So, if you full of shit, that's what's around you. That's what you calling in. That's what your intentions is calling in. The only thing people do religiously is brush their teeth. It's a practice.
Right.
Your belief system. So, if you think, and for entrepreneurs too, that goes back to the energy and the company you keep.
This episode of Boardroom Savages is brought to you by the Joe Reyes Insurance Agency at Country Financial. As you work through life, you may find you need to protect what you value most. Whether that's your business, home, auto, or loved ones, Joe Reyes at Country Financial has a solution for you. As a Country Financial insurance agent, Joe Reyes is prepared to help you with insurance options to protect what and who you love. Visit joedoesinsurance.com or call 770-967-3190.
If you're around people that don't think well of themselves and they don't think highly of themselves, that's going to rub off on you. You can't out positive the goddamn group. Mm-hmm. It's only a matter of time before that energy weighs down. And if you're a person that can feel the energy and that frequency change, that's so different than when you in a club and you outside and then you like all of a sudden it don't feel right. It's time to go. But if you got the homeboy that's like, man, you tripping, because he don't want to go. Now the club shot up, and you like, now this went from a great night to a terrible night. Like, I always use that term because sometimes you don't see it, you feel it before it happens.
Right.
And when you have when you have friends and you have that energy and those friends that are around you, it's important to constantly check that shit. Like, it is.
Yeah. And another thing too, you said you can't out positive the group. Mm-hmm. I feel like another thing too, say you may be further along on your journey, you have more experience than the people around you, you can't have a vision for them like, oh, I could see bro, he could be perfect for doing this, she could do this perfect. You can't, like, it can be right, like you could be right, but man, if they don't have to get up and go about themselves, like you said, the desire within themselves to do better, you can't, you know what I'm saying? That's where you got to compartmentalize and, okay, yeah, they doing their own thing. Let me go to the like-minded folks to suggest this.
Listen, watch The Throne when Jay-Z, what was that song, Why I Love You So Much? Mm-hmm. He was like, I want you to be kings, but all y'all want to do is be soldiers. Like, that is a real statement. Like, right. You trying to make somebody a king and they only want to be a pawn. Mm-hmm. They only want to be a soldier. They don't want it. So you girls, we're going to talk about that at another energy moment because you can't make him be what you want him to be. He got to have that in himself. And if he ain't got it in himself, he going to be wasting his time and your time. Let it go, and you can't love potential. That's a whole nother energy moment. Like, you cannot love potential. Like, you can want so much for a person. It's not even just a man or a woman. Your friends, your loved ones, your family members. You want so much for them, and then they don't want it for themselves, and then you put them in these positions of power, and then they start tearing up your LLC. They start tearing up your business. Right. And then it's like, well, that's my brother, so who gonna fire me? And it's like, yeah, but you just cost your brother a client. You just cost your brother, $1,000. So I think that takes a lot of strength to be able to be like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
It does. Like, it definitely does to like grow up around or be around, even have a relationship with folks, and then know that you can't see them go all the way to the end of the road with you. Mm-hmm. Like, that's like probably the saddest thing. But as I'm going on my journey though, I do see that it's lonely at the top though. It's lonely in the middle for real. I ain't gonna lie. Like, a lot of guys quit so early in the game. You be at the middle, walking up the road to the end from the middle. Like, dang, y'all done quit it before the starting line. Like, come on, bro. Like, yeah. So it's lonely though. I see it, and I see that's why folks probably go almost in debt to get a group of folks. It's like, dang, I'm tired of being around these folks. I don't know them. Like, they in the same level, but they ain't my people. Hold my folks up through here, and they folks just not at that level yet. And like, I think it's really experience in life. Like, almost like a video game. Like, you do play 2K and all that, and they be level 99, but in real life it'd be like level 1 or 2 or like 5. I'm about 5, but it's like we got to get our experience up. Like, like a video game, and then once they get to a certain point, I think that's where folks had that like, dang, I can see you doing this, and they folks at level 1, so they can't even see anything yet. They haven't been through the trial and error. The dang, I done failed. I had to dust myself off, get back up. So you know, when the younger person come up to them and how do I get over this? They can relay the information. I went through this back in the day. That's just what bro going through. Let me tell him. A lot of guys they haven't been far enough on their journey to experience their own fails and trials too.
Because they can't let go of the friends. They can't. Here's the thing. When you have a vision,
right?
Regardless of who you believe, you got the universe, you got God. It doesn't matter. There's a level on your entrepreneurship journey that requires isolation.
It's true.
It is a level of it, and you have to be willing to, when everybody is like they going to the club or they going to hang out or they going on a trip overseas or I can't go. I'm working on this, and I think that also separates the people that are doing something because it's trendy versus the people that are doing something because it's their passion. When it's your passion, it don't even feel like you working. Like, you could be working on a project and hours that go by, you look up, you're like, damn, I gotta eat something. Damn, because you're focused, you're dialed in. Some people start businesses because it's the trendy, being a t-shirt guy is trendy.
Having a CEO in your bio on Instagram.
Yeah, it's trendy, but the average CEO, I've said it before in my trainings, you working 60 to 80 hours a week, like nonstop.
Right. Even
if you have help, because if your vision is strong and this is what you want to do, right? Think of the restaurant. It's the hostess, the waiter, the cook, the sous chef, the head chef, the dishwasher. It's all of these compartments that things is happening, things are moving, and you have to be a part of it, because if this is your dream, you can't have somebody else raise your baby. Like, it's as simple as that. Like, it's your baby, it's your dream, it's your concept, it's coming from you.
Right.
You can't be like, okay, I want $1 million t-shirt business. Here you go, cuzzo. Call me back when you get the first 100,000. Like, it does. You got to be putting the work in, and sometimes when you're putting that work in, you can't hang out. You gotta. And I think that isolation brings healing. A lot of times, especially young men and women, but people don't want to go into isolation because in that isolating time, you got to deal with yourself.
Exactly, and that's where you can. That's probably really why people don't elevate, because they avoid the isolation. And I think they use the hanging out and all that as distractions to ignore or avoid that, seeing what they don't like, what they do like, even about themselves and what needs to be fixed, which is usually what comes out of isolation. Like
that's true. And it also, you in isolation long enough, that time you start to really look at like, damn, this person really ain't my friend.
Right.
Or this person. Some people don't want to face that. Like, some people are like, well, that's my homie from 8th grade, and we started this LLC together, and he not pulling his weight, but he want 50% of the profit.
Right. And
you giving it to him because that's your boy. In that isolation period, you might have to face, he got to go. And you like, man, I'm looking at the friendship, and I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at that, and but that's a whole nother energy moment too, to talk about friends and business. Like, I'm not gonna say you can't have a good friend and y'all start a business together and it take off. I'm not saying that. That's quite possible. I think it has a lot to do with the individual person.
Exactly.
You can't make him a king if he only want to be a soldier.
Right. Or a janitor.
Or right. If he don't really he wants the look of the CEO, but the put in the work, faith without works is dead. So I don't know. Like, this is just us talking and having our energy moment and just kind of kicking it, but it's true. Like, I don't think that people really. It sounds so fun to be a business owner. It sounds so fun to be an entrepreneur.
From the outside looking in.
This shit sucks. this sucks. But if you love what you do, you learn peace in that process. You learn peace in trusting the process.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you get comfortable.
Right. You start to know, like, bad times don't last forever. Just this season, people might not have money right now, or I might be in a bad area, or Christmas might be around the corner. So that's why people aren't necessarily looking at my stuff. They're getting specific gifts, you know. So yeah, it shows, you know, and then because 2 weeks later you could be winning again for 6 months in a row, and then something bad come back up, and then it's
That's that ebb and flow.
Yeah, it's definitely, and I've seen that over the past almost 4 years. Yeah, definitely. It's ups and downs.
Ebb and flow, you gotta ride that wave.
Right, exactly. You just gotta know how to make it look good when you kind of messed up. Keep going, roll with the punches, and that's what like a person who's what did you say? What was the word you said? Truly passionate. About they will learn how to roll with the punches, and accept everything that comes with it too. Because a lot of people probably quit, like when they start to see like I don't know. A lot of people take no for an answer, like first time, like first bad thing happened. Oh man, I'm giving up. But like if you keep trying and you beat that first no, you'll see that really there's no such thing as a definite no. It's just not right now. Like, you know, and you just realize, okay, dang, I gotta sit back for a second, wait for the market to build back up, and then you just go back in. Like, I know that's easier said than done, but if you pass,
you gotta have grit though. Like grit is like that resilience that when you do get that no, okay, on to the next.
Right.
There's a lack of resilience. There's a lack of grit because you have people that are either, you know, if you've been if you're used to getting a no, then you're just expecting no's, and that again, that goes back to that balancing your belief system and your practice system.
Right.
So if you believe in negative things and you believe woe is me, always bad shit happens to me, you're gonna get nothing but bad shit happening to you.
Right.
Like that's what you're gonna get. But if you say no, it's two ways to look at rejection. One, rejection can be protection. Sometimes that, even in real estate, in my big girl business, I tell people that rejection, if your offer wasn't accepted, don't take it personal. Maybe the Most High, the universe, whatever you want to call it, conspired and saw it down the line the house was going to blow up with you and your family in it. Wouldn't you rather that no today?
Right. Then for like a year.
And then you like, oh, this house blew up and we all going and we at the pearly gates. And he like, well, I tried to reject the offer, but you just had to have it.
Man,
so
it's crazy when you look at stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm an extremist. Forgive me, but yeah, but you gotta be okay with rejection is protection. Sometimes the Most High is saving you, or that no is like delay. No may not be forever. It may be right now. Like, hey man, all the time, like Girl Scout cookies. Think of it. You set up in front of Kroger, right? Or whatever store, and those girls be hustling. I love me some Girl Scout cookies, and I love me some Girl Scouts, right? But they will ask, and some people will say no, and some people will be like, look, not right now. And they let me go do my shopping first. And then when they come out, and after they did what they needed to do, they have something left over, they're going to support the Girl Scouts. They're going to buy their cookies. Or, hey, I don't have no cash right now. Let me go inside, spend what I'm going to spend so I can get some cash back. So sometimes that no isn't a true no, it's a delay. It's it's your response to the no.
Right. I feel like it's a test, whether it be patience, you need to go back and learn something before you get the blessing, so you don't get the blessing and ruin it. It's like something too. It's like a test, I feel like, because as long as you keep going, you're going to get it eventually. It's like, I don't think you're never not going to get it. You're going to get it. It's just when, what point in your life will you get it? So yeah, I definitely feel like it's a sign, you know, for sure. Like, that's something for sure.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. Like, you have to be able, you gotta, that resilience, that grit, Lord, like, that, it also comes back to the people that you surround yourself with. If you have people that are quitters that are around you, when it doesn't work out, they gonna support you in quitting.
This episode of Boardroom Savages is brought to you by Thrive Mortgage, the Reggie Graham team, in MLS number 240-34227. Are you looking to finance a home or commercial property, maybe refinance an existing mortgage? Contact the Reggie Graham team to discuss a mortgage solution to fit your needs. All loans are subject to underwriting and investor approval. Other restrictions may apply. This is not an offer of credit or a commitment to lend. Guidelines are subject to change. Visit thereggiegrahamteam.com or call 678-968-0444.
You know, versus having people around you like, man, that was just a bad day. That wasn't a bad week. It wasn't a bad month. It wasn't a bad year. That was a moment in having supportive people. But it's hard to find those people because people are conditioned to, this is my day one. I gotta stay loyal to my day one.
I see that a lot too, and I see even like that. There's no like no matter how high up you go, I've seen like guys at the top, and they'll have like a family member or somebody they keep around, and it's like, dang, you know you're not supposed to be in here, but like off the strength of brother or sister or whoever it may be, they are in that room, and it's like that's what you mean. Like the person is probably a liability, honestly, to the corporation or whatever, and they'll overlook that because it's family instead of going to get somebody who could be on the same
but like you said, it's lonely at the top. Like it's lonely. Like entrepreneurship can be extremely lonely.
Right.
I can tell you that. Like it's extreme. You miss a lot of gatherings, you miss a lot of outings, and then people, as your network expands, if you're not comfortable with yourself, you start side-eyeing, can I trust this person and can I trust that person? Which I will say, we'll definitely tap into that with another energy moment, is discernment and wisdom and intuition. You learning how to use that formula and when you don't have wisdom, because some people ain't been through nothing yet, and you're going into seasons as you're building your business, and you'll gain wisdom through experience. How do I use my God-given abilities such as discernment, such as intuition, because you're going to feel it before it happens.
Right.
I love listening to Abraham Hicks, and she always talks about, when you want to manifest, you got to feel, like you have to feel the joy, and then joy will come. You have to feel the prosperity, and then the prosperity will come. You have to feel, so the same thing with intuition, but I think, some people don't know what that feeling is, so they go against it, and they try to use logic and reason, and that relationship with the Most High, He gonna put it on you. And then also too, another level in self-mastery is managing emotions and understanding that some feelings are temporary and they're fleeting. How to handle it, it takes so much.
Right.
It takes a lot, but you got to do the work on yourself
to get to that point, honestly, because
right.
It takes a lot, honestly. Like it takes a lot, and it says a lot about people's character to be able to talk to people and take notes, like to put yourself in that position to even get told no, because a lot of folks are scared to do that. You hear a lot of people nowadays be like, I don't like people, I don't like talking to people, like, so it's like, for somebody to go out and actually do that in a world full of, I can't say world full of, but around a lot of people who are saying they wouldn't do it, I mean, I commend them though. It is a lot, because this is definitely a lot involved with being an entrepreneur all the way around, like from mental to physical to comparing yourself to your competition, social media.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. We gonna have a whole energy on stop comparing yourself, because you don't know what he or she did to get what they have, and are you willing to do what he or she did to get what they have? Like, you have some people really compromising their morals and their belief systems and going against their very nature of who they are to be clicked up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that we ain't even gonna go. I'll be on my soapbox going in, because that road less traveled. I'm telling you, like that. Matthew 7. That road less traveled. Like, you got to be able to go to, when everybody's going to the left, you got to be able to go to the right.
Mm-hmm.
And even that what looks like loneliness is really temporary. It's so temporary. It's so, like, that isolation is, in a grand scheme of things, a season of isolation will open you up. That time that the Most High you're spending with Him, and you're pruning, and you're to yourself, like, He's opening you up, and then He's gonna show you the snakes in your grass. He gonna deal with you, okay? He's going, hey, you messed up over here. And I think people don't want to heal. They don't want to take the time out to just heal and be like, damn, I dropped the ball on that opportunity. That was all me. You got to deal with those things in silence. You got to deal with those things. Okay, let me forgive myself, and how can I be better and not do that again? You know, you have a lot of people out here fumbling blessings.
Right.
Like, we are blessed people by nature.
Right.
Like, you gonna get what you ask for.
Right.
Be careful what you ask for and be ready to receive it when you do, because a lot of times people ask for blessings and they get the blessings and fumble the blessings because they wasn't ready to receive it.
Or didn't pray for the wisdom along with it to keep the blessing going, to not fumble it, like you said.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, I did that. I did
that.
that.
But that's what's up. Like, we all have done that. Like, we all have done it. And it's funny, I'm glad that he was open enough to admit it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
You know, because same here, I'm open enough to admit, like, yeah, I have a list of blessings that I have fumbled.
Mm-hmm.
But during that isolation, being able to go back and be like, yeah, Tiff, you did that. Like, that was all you. But I also, the discernment and the wisdom was, I didn't know it was a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what I had because I ain't never had it before. You know, that also comes with forgiving yourself and that whole inner process that you go through, because as an entrepreneur, people are not understanding that. Like, you have people that will make $1 million and go and blow their brains out.
Right. Money don't make you happy. Because really, money itself, if you really think about it, the money itself, the notes, the paper, that ain't what we want. We want the things money can buy. Like,
we want the freedom.
Nice car. Yeah, the freedom, exactly. So money itself, you just having a bunch of money, you know, let's say like you sick to the point where you can't get out of bed and all your money stacked up on the dresser, that money ain't gonna do nothing for
right,
you.
You don't care about that money at that moment.
Right.
You want your health.
Right.
You want the things that money cannot buy.
Exactly, and that's what everybody wants. It's just, I guess, well, we all want to be rich, you know, but I guess I don't know what's making people so like they gotta have it.
The comparison in social media, which you can't, like, don't, like, if you want to put yourself into any mental health issue, feel free to go on social media and start comparing your life to other people, because guess what, they only showing you the highlights. They not showing you the practice sessions, they not showing you the L's, they not showing you the losses, the wins, and you know, they got cursed out. Nobody's showing that.
Right.
But all of those things they're not showing you the no's.
Right. Yeah.
They not giving you all of that.
Right, and that unrealistic, like, just like, dang, bro, just keep winning. Or if they're watching a woman do whatever she's doing, dang, she winning. It's really unrealistic though, man. But it's just how they market it to the folks to make, you know, people look like Superman. That's how you get folks to really be behind certain stuff. Oh, that look like, dang, I want to be like that. And if they never lose, it's like,
everybody want to be Ray Charles. You want to go blind, right? No, you don't, right? Like, you know, you want it. You know what I mean? No, you don't. You really don't. I'm just saying, like, you know, you want what comes with it, but again, that taming that energy is going to really help you move in a room full of sharks.
Right.
Like Jay-Z says it. How do you move in a room full of sharks? I think people don't really understand. That's your discernment. That's your intuition. That's being able to read people. And sometimes you don't have the experience to do it.
Right.
This is why we have Boardroom Savages. So we can talk about it and we can have energy moments with my dude here, Holy Designer, where we can talk about these moments. So as you're pursuing and you're climbing your Jacob's ladder and you're going to your success, you're able to be like, damn, they did talk about having discernment. What is discernment? They did talk about having wisdom. Unfortunately, wisdom and experience goes hand in hand. Sometimes you ain't know you fumbled the bag until after the bag is fumbled.
Right.
You gotta take that lesson and turn it into a blessing. If you look at the lesson and you continuously harp on the negative side instead of, this is how you move from low vibrational to high vibrational, and you sit back and be like, okay, what did I learn from this? Okay, you know what? You have to forgive yourself for what you didn't know. Well, I didn't know that was a blessing. I thought it was regular. I thought it was, you know, I could get that at any time. Damn, that was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. That shit ain't coming back. But, okay, I know what I need to do to recognize that once-in-a-lifetime opportunity should I ever get that opportunity again. I'm going to find a clip and post-editing, guys. I want to share the story about DMX.
Okay.
When he talked about how he caught a butterfly and he put it in a glass jar and what he did to catch the butterfly And then what happened to the butterfly once he captured it and put it in a jar? And the moral of the story was he caused so much destruction to get what he wanted that when he finally got what he wanted, it was so temporary it died, and he was not able to see another butterfly for 20 years.
Dang. So yeah, it's like aiming too much for the end, you're gonna miss out on the middle.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
And I've heard that too. Like they be like, don't focus so much on the finish line that you don't learn from and enjoy the journey itself.
Man, that's, you know what? That's so true about as an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've heard Gary Vee say this multiple times too, where he talks about you need to enjoy the process. You know,
because honestly, if you really think about it, if you do get to where you're going, it'll never be the same. Like you can never go if you get popular like that. You can never go to the Walmart and not be hounded by families.
That's true.
So the journey is really the last. It's really like people look at it like, oh, it's taking so long, but it's really like the last time. Say you only like if you my age, I'm about to be 28. So if I blow by 30, I'm never gonna ever have life normal again. So for the rest of my life, it's like
you can't go on a Walmart. You can't.
Right, you probably can't go anywhere without having security with you. You know what I'm saying? You probably gonna have.
Now you're a prisoner of your circumstance.
Exactly. You probably more so would have stuff have to come to you. You probably can't go sit down in the barbershop get a haircut. You probably have your barber come to you. You probably have to DoorDash everything. It's different.
Well, that's what you're talking about when you're saying like people have that one relative or that one friend in a room who should not be there, who's fucking it up for you. Mm-hmm. But you know, familiarity breeds contempt. I believe that's the same.
Right.
You know, you having these people in a room with you because they're familiar to you. It doesn't mean they're good for you. Right. It doesn't mean that they're good for you. And yes, that loneliness of, well, I want at least one person I can trust. Well, why the one person you, instead of like releasing and letting it go, the one person that you can trust, really, you know you can't trust that person. But because that person's familiar, you're going to let them in a room. Listen, Brutus killed Caesar. That was his man. Like, Judas and like, it goes on and on and on and on and on.
Right.
Like, you get that feeling when you know you ain't supposed to be messing with that person. Mm-hmm. They show you, you know, it's up to you to look at the red flags and take your rose-colored glasses off and be like, let me see this person for who they are. Let me look at their character and not the title that I've given him or her in my life.
Right.
Do they show up for me?
Good point. That's crazy. And see, I'm not gonna lie. I usually look at it more like how you just said. Like, I don't really care about if you family, friend. If you slacking, I'm gonna tell you for sure. Like, I'm gonna tell you like.
This episode of Boardroom Savages is brought to you by the Joe Reyes Insurance Agency at Country Financial. As you work through life, you may find you need to protect what you value most. Whether that's your business, home, auto, or loved ones, Joe Reyes at Country Financial has a solution for you. As a Country Financial insurance agent, Joe Reyes is prepared to help you with insurance options to protect what and who you love. Visit joedoesinsurance.com or call 770-967-3190.
People around me gonna be doing right for sure. So I don't think like that, like how people do. But I do see it's super common. Like you'll be like, dang, bro, like I feel you being nice, but you hindering yourself. Like, and you'll see that a lot. Like I see strangers, you know, friends. It's a lot of people. I can say a lot recently too, and it's young guys too. I think like it'll be like younger folks. So
yeah.
We real nowadays. I guess real on that like my squad, my clique type of.
Yeah, your squad and your clique, y'all, they don't know you when let me shut up. Like, ooh, boy, like, be careful with that squad or that clique, because you don't want to find out in the wrong situation that ain't your squad and that ain't your clique. Yeah, like, you know, whether you inside or outside, like, you see the red flags. But again, I think, you know, young people not knowing, and I don't want to keep saying young people, because you got older people out here that is blind as hell. Like, right. Let's say people in general, they see the red flags and they constantly ignore the red flags in their friendships, not just relationships on a romantic level, but in their friendships or their business relationships, that, you know, they see the red flags, but they're like, nah, I'm tripping. Like, no, you're not tripping. You saw what you saw. Like, pay attention long enough. People have patterns. They're going to habitually repeat themselves. Right. They're going to do that again. It's up to you to be like, okay, you done did this 3 times. We're not doing this no more.
Mm-hmm.
Let me compartmentalize. I can only have you for fun.
Right.
I can only have you for football and wings. Like,
that's where folks may need to come up off their emotion a little and put in a little more logic with what they're doing, because I see that a lot too. And I kind of, when you put it like that, I kind of fall victim to that a little bit. Not to a point where it's like, oh, I'm hurting myself, but I do see myself kind of like beating a dead horse, like just wasting time, like trying to continue helping certain folks out. Like, it's not really hindering me, but it's like, bro, you go put that energy into something else. The time you wasting trying to persuade them, and you got all the best, like, bro, you could do this. I could actually help you. All the time you put in there, you just go do something for you.
Yeah.
Could have been sold something, maybe about $100 by now. The time you put in trying to help the person. So yeah.
I think that's the nature of wanting to do good. Because here's the thing, like, we're talking about leaving behind dead weight, but the reason why it's so hard is because you genuinely love your people. You generally want to see your people do well.
Right.
So you're pushing them because you're like, yo, it's a win for both of us. I get to help you, you get to help me. If you ain't never seen Carlito's Way, you better go see Carlito's Way. Find that movie with Al Pacino. He tell you in a minute, a favor kill you faster than a bullet. You know, that same person that you pulling and you pulling that dead horse, now they resenting you because that's just, they unhealed on their inside, and they not looking at like, man, he really trying to help me. Let me utilize the resource. Let me utilize the contact. Now they got contempt. And it's funny because, like you said, we keep going back to that one person in the room who ain't supposed to be in the room. I know my man ain't right. I know my cousin ain't right. My friend ain't right, but I know them. I don't know these people. That's fear. That's fear. Right. You gotta be able. Fear is a spirit that you have to kill and cast out of your being.
True.
You in isolation, you deal with fear. And if you get stronger with the Most High, you're not worried. Because at that point, whatever's going to happen, once you realize he designed it to happen that way, you don't care about what happens.
Right.
That fear leaves. Once you realize, like, you're going to be okay, regardless of what's going on around you, that fear, it gets smaller and smaller so you don't have no fear. I don't have no fear. I have no fear. I have no fear. Like, people could say, oh, you tripping. Yo, run up, get done up. I have no fear. Trust me. Like, those who know me know what's up. Like, they know how I move. But that's with men. But when situation, people, places, and things, I have no fear. You know why I have no fear? I have no fear because I have peace in the Most High. I know He not gonna let nothing happen to me that ain't supposed to happen to me. If today's the day, today was just the day. But I live my life letting the people that I value the most know I love you.
But some people really, in their defense, some people just be outnumbered. Like, it's literally that, like, all that's around them. Like, they probably wouldn't even know the other side. Like, if they're around all bad, they wouldn't even know good because everything around them is bad. Like, I feel bad for some people like that. It's really like that for some folks. But other folks know better, and they just be like, man, I ain't about to do the groundwork. Let me keep distracting myself hanging out. Even if I know they bad influence. I know that ain't going to get me nowhere. That ain't what I should be doing. I'd rather go do that because it's easy than to work on myself because it's hard.
Man.
That's the stuff I've seen. You know, it's just be kind of giving kind of like testimonies and just stories of people I've encountered throughout the years. You know what I'm saying? This is just in Covington, for real. Some folks in Atlanta, some folks out here, but yeah, like in some of these stories and stuff I talk about, it's coming from myself too. A lot of it actually, because I've learned a lot, like a whole lot. And honestly, I would say this too. I don't want. Like, I'm trying to enjoy the scenic route. Like, I don't want the finish line to come just yet, because I've learned so much, and I can say I learned so much in just 1 year, but over, like, the course of these few years of me doing this, I've learned so much, and I know I don't even have the knowledge right now to maintain $1 million. Like, to receive it and maintain it and build on it, I don't want it yet. I still got some more to learn.
Well, that's real big energy right there to be able to say, I'm not ready for certain blessings because you don't want to fumble the blessings. When it comes, it's going to come at the right time, and you're going to be ready to receive it. You know, the no isn't always a no. It may just be not right now.
Right.
You know, and it's nothing wrong with that. Just keep working on yourself in the process, because here's the thing: if you are passionate about your craft, Robert Greene says it takes about, he's the guy, 48 Laws of Power, you know what I mean? Artist Induction. Robert, I really hope one day that you will see my show. You will come and kick it with me. But he talks about, he has a book, Self Mastery, and it typically takes you 10,000 hours to master something. And think about yourself. When you take that time to master yourself, no one can use you against you because you already know your flaws. You already know what makes you tick. You already know who you are. So if someone's like, oh, you're this, this, and this, you might be like, yeah, that's true. And what? Because you've already dealt with that versus feeling that guilt and feeling ashamed. Again, that goes back to that energy you're around. Like, we circle back to the main topic when we started this entire energy moment, talking about, you know, the company you keep and the energy that you're around and how that has a direct reflection of your self-mastery. When you master yourself, you begin to move in a room where you like, that ain't my energy, that's him. Like, he feels ashamed. I don't have nothing to feel ashamed, or she feels guilt. I don't have that because that ain't my energy. Because you begin to be comfortable in yourself. And in that period of isolation, you know, if you did the work, you isolated, you fought your demon, your inner demons, you processed, you healed, you released, you surrendered, you know, you forgave, you did the work. When you come outside and you pursuing your dreams, ain't really much that's going to really affect you. Even when you have a bad day, you be like, okay, that's just today.
Right. It's like you'll begin to know, like, it's like a lot of people think for the moment, so that's why they probably take stuff so detrimentally. Like, so if I only think, like, if I'm only thinking for today and I fail today, that means at the end of the day I'm a failure. So, but if you think long term and you have been doing something, so you can look back at the past, like, okay, I see when I had a bad day, the next day was a good day, so you have something to go off of. And then you know too, it's like statistics, like every day can't be a bad day as long as I try.
Yeah, statistically speaking, that is so true. Yeah.
Right. But a lot of people, I think their issue is that they literally think for the moment, like they're not thinking for even the next morning, and it could be 11 p.m. and they're not thinking for the next morning, like they're thinking for the moment. So if I fail right now, I'm a failure. I'm not gonna try this no more. Like that's how and that goes back to what we say, like people lack resiliency, take no for an answer right off rip. One little hiccup, oh man,
I love you. I'm going to speak positive words over you. I'm going to encourage you. So that way, if I am going, they can say, man, Tim always sent me a text to tell me keep going. She always sent love. She always sent, you know, a positive word. She always had peace wherever she went. That fear diminishes. You know, Joshua 1:9. He says, you know, do not be discouraged, for the Lord thy God is with you wherever you go. So wherever you don't have to be a coward. You got to release that fear. And that fear comes with worrying about what people think. Them people going to tell you, don't care about what people think. We talked about that before. Like, as an entrepreneur, you cannot, like, you give it this much, but you don't let it consume you. Like, constructive criticism and hating is two different things. And being able to discern the difference, that's the wisdom that comes with it. But releasing and understanding that, like, this is my journey. Because at the end of the day, when you get where you going, downstairs or upstairs, you got to answer them questions. Well, why'd you make this decision? Well, you know, Holy Designer said. Ain't nobody trying to hear that shit. Most of I ain't trying to. You wasn't obedient to the things that I told you to be obedient to.
That'll happen too.
Yeah.
I was not even thinking about that.
Because they think, because I have years to do. I have years to get right. No, you don't. You don't. Nobody knows the hour. Nobody knows the time. You better get right in the season you're supposed to get right.
Right. In the movie, I watched a movie called Countdown on Netflix. It made me start thinking like that. Like, you never know when that time is. Like, everybody think they're gonna live to a gray hair. It ain't really like that. You know?
Yeah. Sometimes we're here on a mission. We don't know it. You know, Israel spent 40 years in the wilderness for a trip that's supposed to only be 7 days. We may not get 40 years in the wilderness. We might only have 7 days. Like, if you want to accomplish your goals and your dreams, you have to make a decision. You have to be solid on that decision. And you have to be able to eliminate the distractions, whether it's coming, because they're going to come. Because one thing I can tell you is when you get honed in on what you really want, Here come the cooch. Here come the dingaling. Here come the friend. All of a sudden, all of the distractions starts coming its way to take you off your path.
It is a lot of stuff that start coming at you to throw you off, though.
And,
I noticed that.
Yeah, the harder you pursuing, them setbacks and
the Jezebels start coming.
Yeah, they ready. They like, yeah, let's see if we can knock him off his path and steal his destiny. You know, and they do. Like, they really do. And it's not
successful sometimes.
Yeah, they do. Listen, Samson and Delilah, people miss the whole point in that story that it was Delilah, her whole goal was to destroy that man. He didn't figure out until the end. He made it right at the end, but her whole point was to take him from his destiny. Was to get that man to cut his hair and to lose his strength. His family people warned him, and he was like, "Nah, this is what I want." And then sometimes you have people. I've seen it where people will give bad advice because they don't want to see you in a better relationship than them. Again, that goes back to isolation, and that goes back to spirit and being to yourself. I think so many people avoid that time alone because they don't want to take the mask off.
Right. It's like fear. Like it's scary. Like it's like people almost scared. I don't know why. Like I guess they feel like embarrassment. Like all my friends gonna think I'm a lame or a nerd or something if I go and do the right thing. If I stop trapping and go get a job, like they gonna think I'm lame. You know?
Yeah, I guess that's your friends, because guess what? Are they gonna be sitting in that cell with you while you do that bid?
This episode of Boardroom Savages is brought to you by Thrive Mortgage, the Reggie Graham team, in MLS number 240-34227. Are you looking to finance a home or commercial property, maybe refinance an existing mortgage? Contact the Reggie Graham team to discuss a mortgage solution to fit your needs. All loans are subject to underwriting and investor approval. Other restrictions may apply. This is not an offer of credit or a commitment to lend. Guidelines are subject to change. Visit thereggiegrahamteam.com or call 678-968-0444.
Instead of like, oh, hold on, bro, like, man, I ain't going home with $0, bro. We gotta make something happen, like, you know.
Right.
Yeah, like a lot of folks don't have that anymore. I don't know what's going on.
Well, you know, some things are in you, and it's some things you have to learn. And you know, like the school of the hard knocks is real. Like right. It's just lessons that you have to learn in life to be able to have that grit and resilience. But sometimes that really has to be in you. Like that spirit has to be. If you release the low vibrational spirits, that opens you up to receive high. That opens you up to receive resilience. That opens you. One of the things I can recommend, because we're going to bring it to a close, and I hope you come back and join us for another energy moment.
I will. Don't worry.
Thank you. Is on the side for every negative, there's a positive. Look at fear. What's the opposite word of fear?
Courage.
You pray for courage, right? What is, the opposite of debt? You see where I'm going with this? Like, if you want to release spirits of slander, gossip, because you got to recognize that that's what you're doing. People don't be realizing that they be doing that. Right. But if you look at your negative behaviors, things that you don't like about yourself, instead of harping with, I don't like this about myself, what's the opposite of that? And then pursue that. Right. And go for that and focus on that, because where your focus goes, that's where your energy is going to flow. And if that means when you look up and the energy that you have around you is energy that you have to compartmentalize or you have to let go, do not let a title fuck your destiny up. Do not let a title trick you up out your spot. It don't matter if you knew the person 10 days or 10 years. You'll know through the energy. You'll know how they're living their lives. You'll know how they're treating you and how they're showing. Don't love people so much that you don't love yourself.
That's possible. That's possible too, though. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you might get to a point on your journey where you realize, like, man, this is hard. Like, this is hard for anybody. Like, this is just a lot of hard work, and I wouldn't really wish this on the next person. So it's like, yeah, you mess around and, you know, accidentally do that too. So
Yeah, you got to just keep that in mind, guys. You know, thank you for joining us for another energy moment. We have plenty more for you that we're going to be talking about it all, because again, when you're an entrepreneur, we're going to talk about the business, but it's dealing with all of this when you climb that ladder, because sometimes you can get there and then your spirit and your whole mindset is jacked up, and then a fool and his money will soon depart. Okay? We're trying to show you how to get your dream accomplished, but also keep your energy, keep your spirit, keep who you are at a core and solid, so that way you're not swayed by temptation, you're not swayed by poor choices and negative environments and people. All right? And, you know, we're going to be ripping the Band-Aid off a lot of topics. You know, we're going to talk about narcissistic mamas. Like, sometimes your mama ain't your biggest cheerleader. Like, you know, and I'm seeing this more. These things I'm bringing up, everyone, again, the Holy Designer said, you're seeing the Superman effect on social media, but there are toxic parents, family, and friends that you have to let go of in order to achieve your goal, or you are not going to get to where you need to get to. And it matters, because, you know, when you're studying or when you're working on your craft, you know, that love can be enabling, and sometimes a lot of times enabling is not good. You know, sometimes you need a person that's going to be like, hey, you need to practice those 10,000 hours. And then you have some people like, oh, you don't need to go to work, just lay up with me. And then when you broke, she cursing you out. That's a whole other discussion for another day. You being able to understand and work through these things as you're climbing your Jacob's ladder for your dream to get there. Because guess what? God don't bless no mess. So if you ain't on assignment and you ain't being obedient and you ain't doing what you need to do, you're not going to get what you want, at least not from him. Okay? So, if you like my vibes, please like, share, and subscribe. And until we see you again, peace, blessings, and baby chickens, guys. Ciao.
With the universe, had to do it with myself first. The universe, fell in love with the universe, tapped in with the universe, had to do it with myself first.